and Morty Season 5 Episode 7 is now out and available for you all to go and watch. This episode is all about another parody. We've already had the Captain Planet parody. This one, we got the Power Rangers. So if you guys grew up with the Power Rangers, this is basically a absolutely hilarious parody of the Power Rangers. Or was it? That is the question. I'm going to tell you guys my thoughts on this episode. Let me know in the comments below. What did you all think of this episode? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Smash it down in the comments below. Smash that like button. Hit subscribe as well. And let's get into this review of Episode 7, Season 5 of Rick and Morty. Okay, so Rick and Morty, Episode 7 is now out, and this is the parody of the Power Rangers that we have been seeing in the trailer and the promotional stuff, where they had the big tubes come out and they got the suits and they get sucked up. And we're all wondering, what is that episode going to be about? And now it is here, and it is indeed the Power Rangers. And I tell you what, I loved the Captain Planet one. I thought that was really good. I enjoyed that one a lot. This one, look, I'm going to say it. So far, Season 5 has not been my favourite. It has had a lot of flaws and a lot of bad writing, and it's just been unfunny, and it's really big downgrade from the last seasons we've had. Last week's episode, I thought, was a lot better than what originally we've been seeing. And I'm so glad they are picking up the pace again. I loved this episode. I had an absolute ball with this episode. It was hilarious. It was funny. And look, I know that I want to see Rick and Morty. That is what Rick and Morty is all about. It's about their story and adventure. But you got to throw in sometimes the family. And this one, they had the whole family in there. But it worked. It worked really, really well. Because the way they set up certain characters, certain arcs that they were going to go through in this episode, and the whole general story and elements of this episode, I thought were really, really good. Now, I thought the thing between Summer and Morty was absolutely hilarious. Summer getting drunk on power, making Rick happy, and having someone was really, really cool to see. And Morty realizing that he was losing that to Summer, and Summer was being an absolute bitch to him. It was absolutely hilarious. Their back and forth was great. I enjoyed that aspect so much. Rick was Rick as normal, getting drunk on the power of being able to be addictive in doing what he's really good at, which is create and make stuff and wreak havoc. And once he gets an idea, he runs with it and he goes to the full extreme. And I really enjoyed that about him in this episode. Beth and Jerry were good in this episode as well. They were just enough there. They were there enough not to annoy you, but to have that funny impact as well, because sometimes they can be pushed to the forefront of the episode more so than the other characters when it's not interesting. But this one was interesting and they were there, but they weren't in there too much, but they were in there enough to really give you that thing. I thought the whole comedic timing and the comedic lines and the jokes and everything were executed well in this episode. I really enjoyed it. And what I also liked is that they did harp back to the previous episodes, and the incest baby actually plays a part in it. But that, look, I didn't like that episode as much, and I thought that was a bit weird in that. But it works in this episode. The incest baby stuff works. And I thought it was hilarious when they were referencing it and that. And just what Summer calls it is hilarious. If you're an anime fan, this has got some anime stuff in here for you as well. And I love the baby's name. I thought that was hilarious as well that they called it. It's funny. It works for me. It worked in this episode, and they managed to hit that with the writing. The story, I actually really like the story of Rick being addictive to this and gaining that control and doing it. Throw in the Power Ranger suits and getting like, this is what we would all be like if we got the Power Ranger suits. We'd go out and fight monsters and you'd be like, I want more though. I want more. I want bigger, better. I want to fight more. And I thought that was really cool. It was fun. And yeah, just all the whole characters was great. I mean, I laughed so hard in this episode. So hard. It's been a while. Last episode was, did I say it was it wasn't that funny, but it was like really good. This was funny. I laughed at so many jokes. Like, the one line where Morty's standing there and Rick's fired them all basically, and Morty's sitting there to Summer and Beth and Jerry, and he's like, well, a great leader once told me, you're just born with your family. And like, it's like you're waiting for like the big like next line that's gonna be like a tearjerker, like, oh my god, you're right, Morty. That's it. It's absolutely hilarious. I loved all the little references to Power Rangers. Instead of having like the Zoids, whatever you want to call them, instead of having them as like tigers, dinosaurs and stuff like that, they're ferrets. They're all ferrets. It's absolutely hilarious. I love the opening with Boob World. That was funny as well. I really enjoyed that. And Morty wanted to go there so bad. And Summer's in there. And Summer's like, I'm so glad you guys invited me along. And then Morty's like, well, I didn't want you to come. Ask Rick. And then Rick's like, yeah, sorry, Summer. You know, they're really going down this thing about, you know, being equal and all that sort of stuff. And then he's like, yeah, so if we bring a woman, we get him for free. and I love the reference of like, so basically I'm like a Coke can, then you take it to like a theme park and that, and then he's like, Morty's like, no, you're not, because once you get in there, you can throw it out. You can't throw your sister out. This was just good. I'm so glad we are finally getting the old Rick and Morty we want. And I thought this was good. Look, it's not your typical Rick and Morty story. It's a family story. And I like the family stories when they're executed properly. And this one is executed properly in my opinion. I loved it. I had a ball with it. And yeah, I'm so glad we are, hopefully, fingers crossed, past those really bad episodes that we got in the middle there. Hopefully, we don't see any of that bad writing, any of that uninteresting plot, story, weird-ass stuff that they were doing in those episodes that made me really concerned. I was actually really concerned about this season. I thought this season was going to be one of those seasons that, was it just going to be the end of Rick and Morty? Was it going to be like, have they exhausted it? But now they are starting to re-find that energy and that soul that it had. What made the show so great is the clever jokes, the clever writing. That is a huge key to why this series was so successful, is because of their little jokes that they make and how they reference certain things and they do parodies of things. And I love the parody episodes. One of my favorites, it's definitely in my top 3, is the Purge episode. It's one of my favorites, and I love that parody of the Purge. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite episodes ever of Rick and Morty. So I'm so glad that they're doing more parodies. I really like that. And I just like this episode a lot. So let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think of episode 7? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Smash it in the comments below. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace out.